Hello you guys again, my name is Joe, as you guys might remember, and today for your science activity, we are going to be doing some fun things with water. With water, you can do a lot of amazing things like this. For example, if you put a paper towel in water, 2 cups of water, you will start to see that as it goes on, the color starts to rise from both papers. So I have red in this one and blue in this one, and eventually they'll mix in the middle. So we're just going to leave that for a bit there as we do our activity. But today, what we're really going to be working on is something super fun and something that is super easy to do, and they are called VORTEX bottles. And all you do is you give them a little spin, and then you set them down, and as you can see, when the water is going down, it creates a little vortex right here. Like if you've ever seen in like a sink when you release the water, you'll see that happen a lot. And you can do it with any size of bottles. You just have to have enough stuff for it. That one didn't work too well, but I just see it will work on any bottle. You just have to be careful that sometimes they will spill. So I'm just gonna set this one down here so we have more room. So how are we gonna do this? We do this with some basic materials that we need are 2 water bottles, or any bottles that you have. Same size is always preferred because that way that the holes will be the same. With 1 water bottle, you can have some water in it already, or if you need to, you can pour water in it later. You also need tape. I have 2 different types of tape just to be helpful. Scissors if you don't like cutting tape with your hands. And these are basically the stuff that you need to do this. Other stuff that you guys can have is, if you want to color the water, you can have food dye to color the water. For now, I'm just gonna leave mine clear so you guys can see what I'm doing. Alright, so the first thing that you want to do is, and this is where you want to be careful, and you guys kind of want to watch this video until the end, so that way you don't mess up on a part, and you also want to have your parents around when you're watching this video so they can also help you as need be. So first thing you want to do is you want to remove the caps off of both bottles because you won't be needing them. You can recycle these, or you can throw them somewhere and have your parents recycle them, whatever suits you. Then, what you need to do, and I'll show this twice, is you need to remove this ring here that comes on every water bottle. Okay? This ring, it just kind of gets in the way when you're making it. So you just need to carefully remove this any way that you can. Kind of hard sometimes. But eventually with practice you will get it. Or you can use the scissors. I don't want to because I don't want to ruin the bottle. And I'm struggling a bit because water bottle ones are a little harder. But you just release the ring off the bottom part and then it just comes straight off. So you can put those with your caps as well. So you want to do that to both. My easiest way that I found it is just taking it up off the bottom level and then it just comes straight off. Alright. After that, you can set you can set it on top of each other for now, but it's gonna probably fall over, so you want to just leave it on the ground. You want to get your tape, and you want to grab a piece long enough to wrap around the neck of the bottle. Okay, so it doesn't need to be too big, but you want it big enough. And this is where the scissors come in. After you get your piece all measured out, you can just cut it with the scissors, or if you prefer, you guys can tear it. I like to cut it off of the rope or off of the roll so it's, easier. And then what you want to do is you want to tear it or cut it in half. So you have these thin strips. Okay? That way it can fit around the neck of your bottle and you can wrap it around there. So you want to tear it, and you want to leave 1/2 somewhere else. You don't want to lose that because you're going to need it. So now what you want to do is you want to put both bottles, and this is where you might want to get your parents' help. You want to put both bottles on top of each other so that the necks are connected, and you want to start taping around there. And you just want to wrap the tape all the way around as many times as you can. Just like that. Alright? Then you want to take the other tape and do the same thing. You want to have enough tape because if you don't, it might start to spill or it might start to come apart, and you never want that to happen while you're playing with it. Alright? So you do that. I usually give it about two strips of tapes or like for each bottle. That way it's safe and secure to it. Alright? So we want to do that. And the tape wants to work with me. And then you want to tear it again. Remember, if you don't want to tear it, you don't have to. You can cut it with the scissors, or you can have your parents help you with this. All right? You want to tear it, set the one piece of tape somewhere else, and start to wrap it around. All right? And so, while we're doing this, I want to explain why this vortex happens, or where else you can see stuff like this. So as commonly seen, you can see a vortex, some vortexes, or you can call them hurricanes. Hurricanes form over the ocean, and they basically use the same principles as this vortex does. Whereas you grab it and you spin the bottle, and it starts going down. And you will see that as it goes down, it doesn't just flow all the way down, it starts to spin. And the reason why it does that is because these have different waters in it and different pressures. And as you can see down below, on the other side, it'll start hitting everywhere because it's just constantly spinning as it's going down. So after you have it taped like that, what I like to do is have another tape that's colorful or anything that you want, and you want to put it on there. So for this, all you need to do is just grab a big piece of tape of any different color that you want, or if you're already using color tape, like regular tape, duct tape, anything like that. It doesn't have to be duct tape. Duct tape just for me is preferred because it's a lot stronger, and that way it doesn't break on you, and you can keep these forever. So as you go, I like to put another color on it. I put red because that's my favorite color. And I put that on. I just put it around, wrap it around, so it's all the way around. This tape doesn't need to be perfectly wrapped around because you're already done with that. But you put another color on it, and you can get something like this. And it works super well, especially with larger water bottles. Or if you fill it up with more water, you can have it go on for a little bit longer. Or if you want to also add a lot more color, you can put different colors in there, like a red or a blue or a yellow or any color that you have of food coloring. And that way, if you want to color it, it'll color itself as you're spinning it. But just remember, when you're making these, you don't want to have it not spin, because you want to get it spinning a lot. That way it actually spins while it's going down. Because if you don't spin it, it'll just kind of tip over, and that's not cool. But remember, if you get bigger bottles like these ones, remember to be careful, because sometimes they can start dripping, and you don't want that over your room or in your house somewhere. But if you can make them with bigger bottles and have it work a lot better. And if you're going to make it with bigger bottles, I would recommend having a paper towel somewhere. That way you can pick up any mess that you make. So that's about it for this. They're super cool, they're super fun, and you can keep them for a long time. I wouldn't recommend keeping them for too long, because if you do, they start to the tape starts to wear down, and it starts to get all wet, and it starts to break. So at that point you want to throw it away so it doesn't make a huge mess in your room. But that should be all it. If you need to, you can pause at any time while you're making this, or you can watch this video all the way through, and you can just have it there playing, and you can just follow step by step. But just remember, to start this off, you need 2 bottles and some tape and some scissors, and that's about it. Thank you guys for tuning into this video. I hope you guys have a great day. See you later.